gentlemen, just in case you don't know at home, my name is CharlieGoldberg, your on-air extraordinaire, man. The on-air extraordinaire, the Syracuse man with a plan. Here tonight, a plan better than Sunday night's Super Bowl, and I'll get into all that live here tonight. It's our 5th installment of the show, so thank you guys all so much for all of your support. And tonight, I'm going to be giving you guys a gift in return. A gift in the form of our guest. She is a world-renowned media icon, a TV host of Behind the Gates, a luxury show, which we'll hear all about tonight, and so much more. She is Judy Goss. Judy Goss here tonight on the show, so stick around after my monologue. Let's talk about Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest event of the year, easily in my opinion, as people from all over the world tuned in to what we saw. It was the biggest taping of The Masked Dancer ever. That's right, COVID-19 has nothing on these dancers. So let's talk about the big game itself, ladies and gentlemen, as the Buccaneers 31 to the Chiefs 9, as the Bucs made the Chiefs walk their plank. That's right, the Buccaneers put the R in winner last night on the big stage of Super Bowl 55. It marked the 55th annual time Tom Brady stole everybody's girlfriends. Congrats to Mr. Brady, though, on an amazing performance. MVP, the GOAT, in my opinion. So, another huge thing that went down last night was, the halftime show, the biggest performance of the year, featuring The Weeknd, but it kind of felt more like a Monday. Let's talk about that. I mean, no disrespect to The Weeknd when I say this, they're a great band, but you know what? Their performance was pretty lackluster, especially due to the fact that it was worth $7 million for the big game. That's right, $7 million for 25 minutes of what wasn't a great performance. But you know what, The Weeknd? I was inspired by you guys. So I made my little creation of your halftime performance. Let's check it out, man.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we both be. And she'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come. But at least we both be beautiful and stay forever.
And there was another ad.
The security guard, the 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5.
What?
He slides at the wall.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, there was a Corona commercial last night. That's right, featuring Snoop Dogg and Bad Bunny as they drank their beers on the beach. A great ad, but you know what? I have a question. Hasn't Corona already gone super viral? Why does it need any more exposure to the media? It's absolutely ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, Judy Goss here in the studio tonight. What a show we have. Thanks for tuning in. She'll be here after this ad break. Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you do not know at home, my name is CharlieGoldberg, your on-air extraordinaire, man. And I got a question for all of you at home. Don't you just hate it when you're working out and sweat gets all over your eyes, all over your neck, all over your hair, and everywhere else in between, and you have nothing to wipe it down with? Well, no need to fear. Sweat Relief is here, man. Sweat Relief, the official sponsor of CharlieGoldbergLive and the easy solution to your problem. Sweat Relief has a unique t-shirt design which incorporates sweat-absorbent terry cloth mini towels for you to use quickly and conveniently while wiping off that annoying dripping sweat from your body. There's products for men, women, and everybody else in between. So go to sweatytee.com to check out their state-of-the-art clothes and design. With Sweat Relief, you'll go from drip to lit. Ladies and gentlemen, currently in the waiting room, she has been featured on every single major television network repetitively across the country, adding up to hundreds of live TV segments in addition to being featured in a vast array of magazines, blogs, newspapers, and radio shows. She is the founder of What a Woman Wants podcast, which has reached over 1.5 million, that's million with an M, podcast downloads. She is the host of AWE's newest show, Behind the Gates, and she's a media icon, to say the least. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Judy Goss. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on the set with Judy Goss herself. Judy, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure to be here.
Of course, a media icon, and I'll say that a lot. And if you guys don't know, Judy has done so much in the industry, including interviewing First Lady of the United States, Laura Bush, the former First Lady, Laura Bush. Absolutely incredible. So Judy, you got to tell me right off the bat, what was that like?
Oh my gosh, it was a dream come true. First of all, second of all, it was my first interview ever, believe it or not. It was crazy. And I was sitting in a room, a private room with Laura Bush with about 16 Secret Service men standing all around the room. The room wasn't much bigger than my bedroom. And it was really intimidating, but I got to tell you, as soon as I sat down with her and we looked in each other's eyes and I said, I have twins just like you. And this wasn't on air, this was beforehand. And she said, oh, isn't it great? And the few minutes of conversation I had with her, it just made her human, you know what I mean? And it just, I almost wanted to drop to my knees and confess all my sins. She was that engaging.
Lord have mercy for Laura Bush then. Absolutely incredible.
That's right.
So
yeah, she made me feel so comfortable. It was great.
That's incredible. It's great to see the human side to really everybody, especially in this day and age. Talk to me about how you really got into this industry, because you started off as a model. How did the segue happen to get into being on camera?
I did. I was a high fashion model for Ford, and I got to live all around the world. And then after I modeled, I got into I call it behind the camera work. So I was a casting director. I was a modeling agent for a while. And then I landed as a magazine editor at Cosmopolitan and More magazines. And it was at More magazine really where they asked me to be their national spokesperson for media, all media. And they started flying me around the country. And my first segment was CBS Early Show Saturday morning with Erica Hill. And I just knew right then when I wasn't nervous in front of millions of people, and I knew that's what I love to do. And, I decided it later on in life, but it wasn't too late, fortunately for me. And as Moore's media spokesperson, I started getting all the contacts around the country. Every time they sent me to a TV station, I kept in contact with the producer or the anchor, or someone else that would help me take a step forward into this industry.
Well, as somebody who also is on camera a lot, I could easily speak for you when I say it's so easy to fall in love with this industry.
It really is. It's a trip. It's got so much, there's ups and there's downs. But when it's up, it's just incredibly exciting and rewarding.
And you said there was downs, and that's a big thing about this industry. It's a double-edged sword when it comes to positivity and negativity. A lot of competition in getting on airtime. What was that like for you? Has it ever been an issue?
Well, you know what? There's ups and downs in every career, I guess. I think I was lucky that I started as a high fashion model because, oh my gosh, there was cat scratching and rejections, and it probably, hardened me up to this industry. But once you get rolling, and I'm in a kind of down phase right now. I'm on the set of my QVC set behind me, as you can see here. Everyone's broadcasting from home, so it's not as exciting when you're walking into the set with the lights and the camera and the production crews and all that. But you plow through it, and if you really love something, as I love to do TV, then you will be rewarded and successful in the end.
Absolutely incredible, and you are definitely successful. But wait, let me get this straight. You're on the set of your show right now?
Yeah, I had to build a set in my house upstairs.
Oh, you're in your house.
We're not allowed in the studio. Yeah. So we all have to kind of, just do what we can right now just to get through the pandemic. But after that, look out.
Definitely. And when it comes to having a set in your house, I could attest to that pretty well.
Yeah.
Put this back on my screen.
We all do it. Hosts at home, we call it.
I am currently in my basement, and I am feeling like I'm in a new studio. It's still great, though, in the pandemic for people to get opportunity.
It is.
So What a Woman Wants podcast. Congratulations, 1.5 million podcast subscribers. What was your reaction to that huge number?
I didn't ever really think it was going to go anywhere. I just started it out. And like I said, it's my passion to be, interviewing people and talking to people really about their lives. I love to hear what people have to say about what we can learn, what they lived through and what they did. Right. So it was a bit shocking. I mean, it happened pretty much about 6 months out of the gate. I was getting about 30,000 downloads a month. And,
Wow.
I started this back before not everyone had podcasts, so I was very excited, and I just kept building from there.
What is the premise mostly of the podcast itself? It's mostly about feminism, obviously, and really just empowering women.
It's mostly about women's stories, and we have a few men too that we bring on the show. And the premise is to learn from what people went through, and to, hear about how they, got through their adversities, or how they lived and learned and kept moving forward in whatever they did. Or, it just depends if you're talking about career or health or family and all that. Um, I'm sorry, there's something possessed in my house where the light
Yeah, I
keeps
just saw that. I
flashing
was
on.
like, oh,
Oh my gosh. So weird. Mercury in retrograde, I guess. But the premise of the show is really all about stories and how we can learn from them.
that's absolutely incredible. And you know what?
Thank you.
In a time where there's so much negativity in the news and all around us in the world, it's great to have positivity. It's great to show people persevering over their adversaries. And we're going to easily persevere over this whole COVID situation.
Oh, totally. I believe that for sure. I mean, we're at the back end of it now, is my belief.
And also, I have a Ghostbusters number on my phone book. If you want, I could help you out with that problem back there. But
Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah, so What a Woman Wants, you guys got to listen to it. It's an amazing podcast with obviously amazing guests and everything along those lines.
Thank you.
So Judy, you are the host of AWE's Behind the Gates, which is really a show all about luxury. And it will be my luxury to hear you tell me all about the show. What is the show about?
Well, Charlie, I get to walk in and out of multi-million-dollar mansions. It's a horrible thing. And the concept behind the gates is really, when you're driving through, just imagine driving through LA and you drive past a house that has that huge gates, and maybe a fence up that's so high you can't see over. And that's what the premise of the show is, to really bring you into how the other half lives. And I host the show in New York City. It's airing right now on AWE. We just finished our third season right before the pandemic. And it's super fun. I get to walk in and out of these mansions and show people how, the other half lives. And, the crew lives in Europe and they're based out of LA. They live in Europe and Australia. And it's just so fun to hear their opinion too, of, how other people live and what other people's stories are. I'm obsessed with people's stories, no matter who it is.
That's absolutely incredible. I'm sure it was such a terrible thing walking through mansions, like you said.
Yeah, well, going home sometimes was a little tough.
Talk to me about your favorite experience on the show, if you have one, whether it was being in a huge mansion or seeing something incredible, or is there anything that sticks out in your mind?
Oh, yes. I had, do you know Ryan Serhant
Ryan, sir, I've heard of him.
from Million Dollar Listing? So he's very popular within the real estate TV industry. He's one of the biggest real estate agents in the New York City, probably in the country. And I got to have him. I was hosting him on my show, so that was just such a crazy time that he has this huge hit show, and then all of a sudden, he's on my show showing his place. So that was probably the best time I had, one of the best at least.
Absolutely incredible. Check out AWE's Behind the Gates, and you'll feel like you're behind the gates walking around the mansion with Judy and friends. A great show to watch on AWE. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have tonight. Thank you so much, Judy Goss, for being on the show. Judy, before we leave, I have one more question. For people who want to get into the media business, who see you as a huge inspiration, just like myself, do you have any advice or any techniques or tips you'd give out?
I would say to do just what you're doing, Charlie. My gosh, you created a media, a media club for your school. You're really going in and just interviewing people and staying on air and staying relevant. And that's really all you can do. During the pandemic, when everything shut down with QVC and AWE, and I really wasn't getting any work, I did the same thing. I was making video vignettes, lifestyle, because I consider myself a lifestyle TV host. So I started making video vignettes in my house and just putting them up on YouTube and social media. And that's really the key, is staying relevant and staying out there.
Well, I did not tell her to say that about me. Thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm absolutely honored. Ladies and gentlemen, Judy Goss, an amazing person with amazing projects. Please check them out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.